Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. We've got a wildly busy one for you today, unpacking how a single geopolitical move just sent shockwaves through global markets and the tech world in literally a matter of hours.
So let's jump straight into it. Brent crude just absolutely plummeted down to $84 a barrel today. This was a massive market reaction triggered by paused military strikes in the Middle East. And, it was really the first domino to fall in today's news cycle.
Which brings us to the geopolitical ripple.
This drop in oil is stemming from a whole flurry of conflicting diplomatic reports about the Strait of Hormuz. It's kind of like a giant puzzle right now. On one side, former President Trump is claiming an imminent deal following direct talks. But then, on the flip side, Iran is explicitly denying any direct U.S. contact. They are confirming that negotiations for an Oman-mediated corridor are happening, but they're firmly stating the strait is definitely not returning to its pre-war status.
So what does this uncertainty mean for global markets? Well, Asian equities opened sharply lower today. We saw South Korea's Kospi drop 4.6% due to that residual war uncertainty, and Japan's Nikkei was down over 1% on an early session risk hangover. But U.S. markets? Totally different story. The Nasdaq actually surged over 2% as oil dropped and strike fears eased up, and the S&P 500 jumped 1.55% thanks to a renewed appetite for tech.
And speaking of tech, let's look at the innovation front, the AI arms race. Because while traditional markets were busy reacting to the Middle East, a completely different battle was escalating today. Check out this staggering figure, 100x. The Chinese lab DeepSeek literally just undercut frontier USAI models by more than 100 times on cost with their new V4 flash model. We're talking about pricing tests at roughly 3 cents. That is an absolute paradigm shift in the economics of technology.
And this intense price war is happening right alongside some crazy jumps in capability. Alibaba just launched their QN 3.8 Max, which is a massive 2.4 trillion parameter model with open weights, by the way. Meanwhile, Microsoft is previewing My Real-Time, offering full duplex voice to reduce their reliance on OpenAI. But here's where it gets really tense. This is causing immediate geopolitical friction. U.S. House committees actually just subpoenaed DoorDash over the use of the Chinese AI model Kimi K2.6 to cut costs.
All right, moving on to our business and earnings watch.
This aggressive tech race is bleeding right into an absolutely massive week for Wall Street. With aggregate S&P 500 profits tracking at a 47% growth right now, everyone's laser-focused on earnings. A huge standout is SpaceX reporting their first-ever public earnings on Tuesday. They're posting $6.82 billion in Q2 revenue, and the market is zeroed in on their Starlink and AI capital expenditures. We've also got AMD and Palantir on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, definitely keep an eye out for Disney's expected confirmation of their A+E network sale. But hey, it's not just the institutional heavyweights making moves. Everyday retail investors are finally getting unprecedented access to private markets. Robinhood's Ventures Fund 2 just opened a $200 million IPO on the NYSE, offering regular folks direct exposure to Y Combinator-affiliated private startups. That is a real game changer for retail trading.
Okay, let's wrap things up with a lightning round covering health, sports, and culture.
It has been a wild day across the board. In health, an FDA advisory panel just recommended approval for those popular synthetic fitness peptides, and scientists actually identified the EPS8 protein as a molecular switch for ALS in Huntington's. In sports, we had some blockbuster MLB deadline trades. Rutschman is heading to the Red Sox, and the Cubs snagged Gaussman. At the box office, Spider-Man just crossed $500 million, and Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey hit $1 billion globally. Also, a quick weather warning. That brutal 114-degree heat wave is still hammering the Southwest, while New England is facing severe flash floods. All right, to close out today's explainer, let's circle back to that explosive tech sector. We've really got to ask, as global AI capabilities explode and prices absolutely plummet, how will businesses integrating these incredibly cheap foreign models reshape the technology we use every single day? And what does it all mean for global trade regulations? It's a massive shift unfolding right before our eyes. Thanks so much for joining me to break this all down, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.